Hi, this is the Synergy Doc. Conflict. No one really likes conflict for the most part. Now, there's some people who like conflict. They like stirring the pot and they like causing disruption. But for many people, they don't like conflict. One of the things I will tell people who are looking at leadership, looking for a position of increased authority in their work organization or wherever it is, if you don't like conflict and you can't handle conflict, don't take on the role of a leader or take on a position of authority where conflict must be worked through. Many, many years ago, people looked at different ways of dealing with conflict. Some things work better than other things. Is there an absolute wonderful way to work through conflict? And the answer is probably not. There's no real solid, because you're going to be dealing with individuals usually. And individuals can be unpredictable. I wish everybody came with the same set of instructions and the same way of, discussing, but then the world wouldn't be as interesting. We wouldn't have some of the innovations. What's happened over the years is the ability to discuss. People don't really talk anymore. And that's a shame because we can't have differing opinions anymore. We become polarized. What we've been taught in the past in business isn't what younger generations are being taught. In fact, if you disagree with someone, you throw a tantrum. You shout them down, you yell, you disrupt, and you don't let them talk. That's their form of negotiation and their way of dealing with conflict. So there's no reasonable, sane way in which we can deal with that kind of behavior. In the work environment, you might have a little bit more say if you're the boss and might be able to tell someone to be quiet and to listen. But that's part of the process in any conflict resolution is to listen. We have to listen on several levels. And there is a logical level that we all who understand logic look at, but there's also the emotional level, and you have to take that into account. I have counseled marriages that once the emotion gets engaged, the logic goes out the window. And unless you can identify and address the emotional, you often don't get the chance to deal with the logical. It's a shame that we have turned out so many people who are emotionally driven. And they only respond to the emotional side of life. And right, wrong, or indifferent, if that's how they feel, you're going to have a hard time convincing them with any logic. So what do you do when that happens? Well, no easy answer maybe, but I have found it's most effective to talk with them about how they're feeling and then agree that they have a right to feel upset. And once you've done that, then you can say, but here's the challenges that we have to deal with logically. And that's more productive than just trying to hammer the logic into their head, as much as sometimes we want to do that. But that's just what's happened, and our society's become far more emotionally driven than reason driven. And until that shifts, which I don't know if it will, because that's kind of been human nature, is once emotions are stirred up, hard for facts, hard for reality, hard for any logic to be interjected. So we do have to be aware of the emotional content of the conflict. Because if we don't address that, well, we're usually going to just spread more and more discomfort and silent rebellion. And this is a Synergy Doc telling you conflict's not for the weak.